Tes 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 tes. Tes 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 tes. Oke, suara gue aman. Sekarang ini dulu. Oke, tes dulu suara dari sini. Ini apa? Oke, kedengeran.
That'll be having on that wild card stage.
Anjir, bisa cu. Bisa gokil. Oke, kita persiapan dulu setupnya. Oke. Oke, mari kita mulai. Jadi karena gue besok rencananya mau full live stream Onic ya. Jadi karena besok gue ada rencana mau full restream Onic lawan BOOTSGATE, dan kalau sempet sih match-match M7 lain yang seru bakal gue restream juga. Nah, sebelum gue restream besok, gue pengen prepare dulu nih dengan mencoba menonton beberapa match Onic yang belakangan ini gitu. Dan juga sekalian juga gue mau nonton beberapa match BOOTSGATE juga buat mempelajari gameplay mereka kayak gimana. Karena sedikit disclaimer ya, gue memang masih baru banget ya ngikutin skena ML ini. Jadi gue pengen ngeliat-liat dulu nih match-match mereka kayak gimana, gaya main mereka gimana, supaya besok ketika stream gue udah bisa lebih siap ya. Oke sih, dan kayaknya gue akan mulai dari pertandingan Virtus Pro lawan BOOTSGATE kemarin ya di wildcard ya. Di sini jujur ya, sebagai penikmat ML yang baru, gue sangat-sangat amazed dengan gameplay mereka gitu. Apalagi pertarungannya emang sangat-sangat sengit banget, kalau nggak salah skornya 3-2 gitu, dan beneran tipis-tipis banget. Virtus Pro yang benar-benar kelihatan meyakinkan banget di pertandingan sebelum-sebelumnya. Bahkan di pertandingan pertama lawan BOOTSGATE ini mereka juga menangnya cukup telak gitu. Sampai kemudian entah kenapa ya di match-match selanjutnya beneran tiba-tiba kayak kesurupan apa gitu, BOOTSGATE tiba-tiba bisa ngasih perlawanan yang sengit, bahkan membalikan keadaan gitu. Dan gue kayaknya pengen mulai nonton mulai mempelajari BOOTSGATE dari pertandingan ini lagi gitu. Jadi gue bakal muter dan nanti sekalian gue akan memberikan respon-respon ya, dan sekaligus gue sambil mempelajari gameplay mereka juga kayak gimana gitu. Belum mulai gue mau ngecek dulu ya di ini. Gue double live stream ya di YouTube sama TikTok nih buat ngetes besok apakah aman apa enggak. Gue ini live stream kedua gue, malum ya masih pemula anjing. Udah, oke, mari kita tonton pertandingan yang pertama nih, Virtus Pro lawan BOOTSGATE dari babak wildcard M7 kemarin ya. Ini game kelimanya. Mari kita lihat.
this will be the final game that they will be playing here to determine whether they get onto the main stage or this will be the final showing of them here in Jakarta for M7.
One more step, one more round between these two. Let's see who
Dua pemain Virtus
will
Pro yang menonjol banget nih.
take it.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a game of momentum here, right? So whoever gets a good start is just going to snowball.
What a gank early. Fetch priority used up by Batcon. He cannot deal with it. Kazue with the pathing. Beautifully done again by BOOTSGATE Esports at the start.
I already say this, but I mean, like, you know, call it. Some kind of early aggression is going to come through.
Uh-oh. This is already somehow BOOTSGATE's like transition, right? That's the early rotation. That's the threat that the Selena also can bring to the table as well. But XC and as well as Kazue, what a read. Now, Selena has a Season Hunter, so it will help during turtle takes or potentially later on lore takes. And that should be they should keep tabs on this.
So far
Factor's getting
masih cukup
whacked
solid ya
by the Lilia.
meskipun kecolongan.
They're still doing good. He's still able to survive
Dengan
without
kematian.
using the Revitalize, so that's always a good sign. Especially considering right now, Virtus Pro are the ones that have to start rotating into the bottom lane to help Badcot to get level 4, because right now, XC is going to get level 4, Badcot's still quite far from it.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea, right? Making it so that conditioning that you're not going to be too worried about your side lanes, and this is the strength of EE's or side laners, the gold lane, the EXP. So the fact that you go for a level 2 get on that Aya, it really disrupted the tempo.
Badcot trying to get level 4 and gets punished for it. Again, BOOTSGATE Esports, they're neutralizing the Yuzong so well.
Boy, this is not looking too good for Virtus Pro. They got the kill, they got the neutral objective. And Kazue is on a 2-kill stat. This can lead to an upset.
Gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Before we even start the series, I asked you guys, what is the case for BOOTSGATE to win this one? You guys had different answers, and we're seeing both of them on display. Like, are you satisfied with your own analysis and then now seeing what's been transpired?
I think so, you know. Gani answered first saying simple, and I think they won with simple.
Yeah.
But now in game 5, they went crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely Loco and doesn't really look too well for the side of Virtus Pro. BOOTSGATE Esports, I thought the lead would be more. Oh, the combination.
Black Shoes already used up Pluto, able to flicker out, has the tech charge still. As that's Wactor, jump in onto Zar, Egos with the taunt. Again, it's XC with the jump in forward. That's a tech charge landing on one, just Wactor. That's Zar still able to take the orange buff. Badcot jumps in, but Kazue goes in for the quad shadow. Zar able to get the kill on XC, and we are all back to even. Kazue knocked up, has to use the shadow kill. We'll have the quad shadow back out, and he will be able to escape as Zar goes for the green cap here.
Oh, but look at this. BOOTSGATE, they don't stop. They keep on harassing Zara this time. I think it's the only time that he's really having real trouble farming in his own jungle. He has trouble before farming, but not in his own jungle here. And yeah, BOOTSGATE, this is how you deal with a supercomputer.
This is, I like that, right? Yeah.
Introduce a virus or just overload it that it can't operate anymore.
It's really tough here, but you can see here Virtus Pro trying to somehow recover, looking for compensation as well. You can see the gold is practically at an equilibrium as we are going to see another potential big fight here in the second neutral objective. BGT, more control of the river, so they're taking their time here. It seems like Virtus Pro, they're saying, you know what, have the second nuke, we'll look elsewhere.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to contest there because, again, BOOTSGATE have already gotten the rotation earlier. XC was able to rotate very, very quickly, and they didn't have mid-prio. Plus, again, Selena, when you have it, it's so easy to go. Oh my god, I thought the missile arrow was going to land there. Pluto able to go for some damage. Just relieving pressure off of Super Gorka. Great dodge on the abyssal arrows. And great rotation back to the bottom lane by XC.
Yeah, honestly, hold on, it's not over.
Graceless into the Mountain Shocker, Flicker out for Identity, but now he still is able to get the reset on time. Zara Ego is trying to run away with the help of the Petrify coming in from Badcon. They're able to disengage. Heaven's Wrath coming down as Xe gets away, but Pluto won't be fortunate enough to do the same thing. Identity with no Flicker gets punished as well.
Wow, that's a very, very important kill for side of Virtus Pro. It's a roam for a mid lane, so the value is definitely there for Virtus Pro. You can see though, RX is still deathless. They gotta find a solution here from side of Virtus Pro. We know what RX can do on this Obsidia. Game 2, Game 4, and possibly Game 5. And already a turret, right? A structure top lane taken down already. So that's again not a good sign for the side of Virtus.
Oh
My goodness, solo kill!
Oh my god.
Badcon is having a bad game. Xe. Wow.
I didn't thought this would be the case, but it looks like Virtus Pro, they might have not trained enough for this Besok 5, because it does look like they're getting quite tired here. Right, like in its extended fight, BOOTSGATE looks so fresh. They look so ready.
Yeah.
While Virtus Pro, you can see the stamina dropping.
Exhaustion starting to hit. Tech charge canceling the AOG. Able to get him a kill. Bover finally on the board now, but God Shadow will land on him. He has the black shoes. He has the rest of the team backing him up. Badcon might have to just play to cover Yuzong, which is always tough to do.
Yeah, and all the while, Xe is just free farming 1, 1, and 3. Oh, we're just waiting for this hero to get a skin.
Likewise, brother. It does seem like Virtus Pro is not here.
Good flicker out. Badcon did not use the Petrify just yet. The Abyssal Arrow goes wide. Kazue's looking for the angle again. Badcon needs to go for it. Bober with the Purify out with the black shoes as well. Now, can they time it in time? The Abyssal Arrow goes again wide. And Kazue gets enough space to go for the retreat. Out-retreating Zara Egoist. Badcon with the Furious Dive. Almost getting caught by the Abyssal Arrow.
Take control, take over from side of BOOTSGATE. They were able to take the turtle, and Virtus Pro could not find anything on the board there in that fight. So BOOTSGATE again harassing already in the jungles, and they're looking to free up space for RX yet again. He's got to play more calm here. Keep in mind 75 seconds on that spell. So I'm not seeing RX going for fights just yet, because there's a clear cover, but Kazue, that's a Sky Piercer.
Yeah, that's his own special power spike.
Yeah.
All of a sudden we have that item. He just becomes a different kind of Hayabusa. It went from like a green belt all the way to a black belt, man. And yes, just black belt. Just
I mean, yeah. Usually when Kazue gets a Sky Piercer, you can see him be more active, increase the killer instincts, I gotta say, in game. So yeah, gotta be careful here. Virtus Pro, they're definitely behind here, and feels like they're troubling Murgo. They're starting to lose control.
That could have been real bad. Now the Shocker lands on Wactor. But he's A-okay. He's got the catcher that can take those shots. Somehow, Virtus Pro are still only just 1,000 gold behind. I thought this would be more.
Yeah, I mean, like considering the amount of denials that BOOTSGATE has been.
Perfect turtle.
Yeah.
2 turrets over 1.
We gotta see who has the most gold here. It has to be Square Gorka. Yeah.
Either him or Sour.
Yeah.
Both. I think. Yeah, for BOOTSGATE, definitely on Kazue. 3-0-0.
Right now, look at this. Kazue is also looking for an opportunity. Same as Xe. Oh!
Tech charge on all 5 by Pluto. Xe in the back line doing the same thing. Now brings our Ego into the midst of it all with the Petrify. Will lock 2 members down. Super A Gorka gets a massive blazing duet, and now it's a re-engage as Identity is forced to flicker back. Virtus Pro showing signs of life.
No, you cannot blink in this game. This is the final game, and when you blink, yeah, Pluto showed what you will miss. That's a 5-man set tech charge, and that will somehow take time to lay as well. Zar, though, was the sole casualty from their team.
That one is not just instant replay. a full just slow it back down, frame by frame, see how it works. But now look at the goal difference here. Honestly, not much. Only RX has a quite a substantial lead. Actually, no, the EXP has a bigger lead.
1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that, you know, remember the solo as well, right? See, so yeah, the Lord though.
Lockdown, CC Mundo coming down from Pluto. Has a tech charge, can he go for it? The Quad Shadow didn't land. Zar Ego has already used a Mountain Shocker. Gonna go for the green camp as Badcott tries to retake the Lord aggro. Mountain Shocker as well. Oh my god, he missed the arrow from Identity! Kazooie wins out the retry battle! Blazing duet from Super and Gorka. RX has become Badcott. Jumping in forward, goes in but gets kited away by RX!
Identity has been shaking game by game, but it seems like the timing was perfect this time around. Just about.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. I was looking at the Lord. I saw the Traceless already used. In my head, it's like, was there enough range? We're going to be looking at the instant replay here, and hopefully there is a bit of slowdown because you can see the arrow coming in and then just hit. He walked into it, but you can't blame him. Yeah. There were so many things going on from the front, from the left, and from the right. An arrow suddenly comes in. You can't be mad at this kid, man. He's so young. This is his debut on International, and he was overloaded. That's how you deal with a supercomputer.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. We might see another technically upset.
Yes, sir.
With this lead, with this lore, with this momentum, and RX is still untouched.
Oh my lord, brother. BOOTSGATE, 4,000 gold lead. Now with the Holy Shield as well. It's going to charge down. Badcott is able to go for the Furious Dive now up top. They're trying to get a base turret, at least one. But VP are doing a good job to defend it. Remember, this is the last game of the series, folks. You lose here, you're out of M7. You win, you make it to the Swiss stage.
The Walker just, this is what Virtus Pro has been hinting to us about. This taunting, and Walker, like, we gotta track how many times he's gotten this Gato Kacha, man. Not denied at all.
4 games, I think. Pluto, Pluto, drop back. Quad Shadow zoning, Zar Ego is there. Pluto gonna be caught. Shadow kill down, but a tech charge doesn't save him. Shadow kill with Sky Piercer. Kazooie is back on the Sky Piercer.
Man, oh man, Virtus Pro catching strays. Keep in mind, game 1, ladies and gentlemen, it was 11-1 for Virtus Pro. Game 5, different story. BOOTSGATE Esports, they're currently manhandling Virtus Pro.
Yeah.
40 seconds on the clock, neutral objective. And it does seem like BOOTSGATE, they are more than comfortable around playing. You can see the arrows in this position having that benefit.
Look at this lead, man. Like, Badcott is really having a bad game, and it feels bad because, especially on that Alice, he was dominating. He was having MVP performances, but now Xy's just showing up as a better EXP leader.
Yeah. On the Yuzong, man, it's horrible when you're behind. So the fact that he's 2,300 gold behind against Xy on a Sora. Sora, on the other hand, even if you're behind, you still have a lot of value that you can bring to the team.
All the calm before the storm here for the side of Virtus Pro. BOOTSGATE is... Take a look at the zone, take a look at the formation. It's time. Pluto looking to provide information. Kazooie is unknown, the position, I believe. Looking for an awkward angle or awkward opening here.
No Purify on Bover. That is 80 seconds where he's vulnerable. You can pop black shoes, but if you're locked CC, it'll be tough. Kazooie again, just he's moving from bush to bush, getting better positions as we get into Lord fight.
And Zara is probably, I would say inches right now because you don't know where the engage is coming in. The Haya can come out of nowhere. Identity with this Alina can come out of nowhere. All of a sudden you have a circle around you and a Gatot is jumping on top. Like, he's got to be super ready with his Eastern shit. He cannot use his Traceless willy-nilly.
There you go. They're trying to get control again. They gotta get it. Kazue in the back line, trying to go for it. Petrify to take charge now. Over on Kazue. Still able to go for the shadow kill. Super Gorko goes for the blazing to win. And Exi gets taken down by Sour. A ton in there. Traceless over. Bober takes the Lord. And somehow Virtus Pro pull it back. Sour gets a triple kill.
Against all odds, it was the Lilia pick who got the Lord. And 3 members of BOOTSGATE now. Down and out. They look to push. With the Lord, there's an angle.
Yeah, looking at the players here, Kazue using the quad shadows, trying to get something there. 1 inhibitor down. A few more to go. Virtus Pro looks like they don't want to make a mistake here, because again, this is literally tournament life.
Lord still up and available. Super Gorka is still quite far away. That's a wall placed down by Pluto. Exi still able to dash away. Good missile arrow. Taking Bober to a quarter of his health. Has to purify. Has the black shoes. Needs to save it. The Lord actually takes the base turret down below, and that is massive. Virtus Pro now hold the advantage.
What happened? BOOTSGATE Esports, they were able to control the game mid towards minute 10 even. But it feels like with that Lord taken by Bober, it really turned the tables around. And now, slowly but surely, Virtus Pro gaining more ground, building themselves their own momentum. As BOOTSGATE, they were the ones rattled.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it just shows you need 1 good engage, but also 1 bad one to return things around. Because we got to talk about Exi as well as Walker, the anti-synergy. Like you can say that you're making it so that no matter what happens, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that chain CC really didn't happen, so it gave enough room for Virtus Pro to fight back, because they weren't really controlled all that much. They were controlled 0.5 seconds, and then after that they were free. So Exi as well as Walker, I can understand making it so that you're closing 2 doors. But maybe they just have to close 1 door and then make sure that door never opens.
That is all balance again. 2 turrets though in the hands of Virtus Pro. Now they should play around with Lord is topside, so they can definitely use this advantage in their far lane. And yeah, all spells are technically up apart from that retribution from Zara. So they're ready to have a raw, big team fight 5v5 here around the Lord. With this advantage, Virtus Pro, they gotta play disciplinedly.
Yeah, all they need to do is play around these far lanes, right? Let the far lanes go there, hold on the Lord, and wait for the members to walk up. You don't need to go in aggressively. Don't need to force out fights. Tezet watching. Virtus Pro fans as well watching in the building for sure. This is a 50-50 despite the base turret.
80 minutes. 1 or 2 deaths can be all that is needed involved to end the game.
Ooh, good damage on Wachter.
Yeah. Smoke. Identity. Try to get Zara again, and Zara's really like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me so.
Go for the shadow kill, but it's instantly Bober with the Purify and the Black Shoes. 2 big resources used up. That's good. Disengaged by Exi. Goes back in. Exi. Oh my gosh, Super Gorka with the blazing duet now. He's trying to go in. Found a shotgun, lands on 2. The Vinacron coming down as well as Backhand tries to go in with the Fury Dive. Almost lands. Great traces to get away. And Petrify that lands on Kazue. Pluto is able to get immortality in time. Bober gets away just barely. How did no one die?
All 10 players are still in it, and they hit the reset button.
Bro, what was that question asking, is this the best wild card?
Wait a second. They're going for it. There's no reset on it, but Kazue's not there. 16,000 health.
Zara's there.
has a retribution.
Kazu is here too. Mana Shocker there. They're gonna go for the lockdown onto Azar. He buys immortality time. Can he swap it out? Oh my goodness! Super going with the peel. On the ball from RX goes on a bomber. Black shoes perfectly timed. Not back down with the Pierce dive over RX. The quad shadow now with the shadow kill over with the retry as well. Sour recalling Stone Cold. The missile arrow from Identity. No way! Oh, almost surviving bad cop. Wave in the mid lane and the bottom lane crashing down on BOOTSGATE. That's 2 and 2.
Dude, the adrenaline just pumped up.
They're doing it.
Like this game went from 80 energy to 300, bro.
This went from 20 energy.
It feels like Game 5 last match, bro.
It's back and forth. It's a slugfest. Rose gold for Super and Gorka. No immortalities for a lot of these members. Kazue is still in mid. What's that vision on this? RX.
Be careful, because if RX gets caught here,
Wait a second.
that might be GG.
He has no flicker.
This is the gamble they're playing. Super and Gorka gets stunned up by the missile arrow. Goes for the Purifier with a nature as well. He's gonna have to sell that. Kazue goes and finds it. Oh my god, AOJ! Super and Gorka falls. Kazue gets a double. Still unkillable. 7-0 and 4. BOOTSGATE Esports are en route to making it to Swiss.
When we say they're fighting for their lives, man, at this point they're fighting for someone's custody. I don't know, man. They're giving it their all and then some.
No Bober. It's spawning right now. It's an Evolve Lord. 20 seconds. Can they buy enough time? Even if they do, they will lose all their base turrets. That is the best case scenario. An all-in from XC. A pull back as well, XC! Able to find the massive play to bring him back. Can't cancel. Identity gets the kill. Oh, it's all over. On the bone lands with a crowd already bought already. Lord coming out now. And that's going to be Torigo is standing. The rest of the team coming out. Amount of Shocker as well. Boomer gonna clear the waves. That's the big question now. As Super Gorka spawns as well. Black Shoes coming out. They can't. No way. Now in the mid lane, Zari goes on. The quad channel doesn't land. And again, it's Sour, who spaces perfectly against an Evolve Lord they defend.
How is that not over? Are we really gonna see multiple base defense?
Yeah! Gets the Sky Piercer shut down. Buys immortality. Academy in the mid lane now. Super Gorka. Alright, blazing new web, but it's all over. BOOTSGATE Esports.
Ah buset, tadi bukan game 5 cuy. Oh ini sih game 5. Oh game yang seru kayaknya yang di game 4 ya. Oke kita pindah dulu deh ke game dari Onic dulu kali. Kita cari game Onic sekarang. Kita bisa lihat tadi cara main BOOTSGATE sebenarnya nggak impresif banget, bukan nggak impresif juga sih, tapi nggak yang outstanding banget, tapi kelihatan banget punya mental. Jadi di beberapa kondisi yang nggak ideal mereka bisa bangkit untuk melakukan comeback. Selanjutnya Onic lawan apa ya? Horror APH kah? Boleh. Ini sebenarnya sih ini bukan pertandingan final mereka ya di Game of Future ya, cuma kayaknya pertandingan ini lebih seru ya ketimbang finalnya ya, yang Onic beneran mendominasi. Justru yang kerasa kayak final nih Onic lawan Horror APH ini. Kita random aja ya, kita lihat game pertamanya dulu, semifinal Game of Future ya. Oke.
This
Mana nih cara reconnect stream di TikTok ya? Coba kita matiin dulu. Kita nyalain lagi. Ini sound card belum kepake. Kita close dulu. Error. Di YouTube masih aman. Kita lihat nih di TikTok nih. Kita streaming lagi cuy. Nice. Di TikTok udah nyambung lagi ya. Meskipun kelempar anjir, ngeselin banget. Kita mulai lagi. Lanjut di pertandingan berikutnya. Onic lawan Aurora PH di game pertama semifinal Game of Future ya.
lineup, these lineups across the board here, is pretty much what we've been seeing for the past maybe 3-4-ish months. And these are some of the most comfort, best picks for these players on both sides.
I actually was going to say that. Like, this is so comfort. Like, did they even draft? Like, I think everyone just got exactly what they wanted. No questions asked. It feels like Onic is, I actually don't blame it. Our analysts are a little bit split on this one. Just because it feels like it's so good for either of them. It can go either way.
Yeah, part of this is, I don't know, if you look at both and what we've seen throughout Games of the Future so far for 2025, it is a whole lot of roam impact, which has always been the case. So if you look at the teams that have had the most, and these are the teams that really is the roam. Sure, like Rome, especially the Cho, for example, this is a key bowler, and he's got his Cho pick. We've seen him do this in many stacking Rome, right? We go ahead and get those pickoffs. This is a very extended Rome in comparison. For example, if we compare it to Palos is not your Rome. He's really utility and lay down the glorious pathway. Yes, he has a stun. But essentially, he's there to go ahead and provide either a quick way to follow or to disengage or to cut off the opposing team. But the way that Light plays the high a little different too. That's another thing you have to take in consideration. Again, Light being one of the most aggressive roams in professional MLBB. Oh, mid lane. Oh.
But that, speaking of aggression, right after getting the real world, they go for the fight, and Sans gets first blood. Of course, Demon Kite gonna not let that go unpunished. Gonna go ahead and get that kill, so it's a 1-for-1, and that's both of our mid laners. Actually, no, it's Kyrie falling on the other side, so that's gonna slow him down a little bit, man.
Yeah, that's tough. You die early as a jungler, you're gonna have some difficulty, right? But you got to be able to catch up. YSS is pretty good at doing that, though, even if you have your late start into the transition here. So they're going to fight for this turtle. There's going to be no contest for this, as you mentioned, with Kyrie going down. So they go for that. Now, part of this, too, is, again, they forced that fight in the mid, but as soon as those level 4s were available, Aurora Gaming Philippines knew that they had basically an advantage that they could work with. And this is the thing, too. You don't see too often the aggressiveness in the gold lane from our previous teams, right? But, for example, this is Domenkite and Skylar. Skylar having a massive history of performances throughout Indonesia. Domenkite making a name for himself over the years, and this is the most classic matchup you'll see, a Harith versus a Granger. For a while, people were tired of seeing this. Maybe they still are, and that's why the gold lane has changed up so much lately, where now you can put those fighters in the gold lane, but they're essentially going to be doing the same thing. They want to go ahead and scale into it that mid to late game. They both sort of scale around the same timing. Now, if one of them can solo kill each other, which we've seen before, whether that be the Granger or the Harith, then that gives them that little bit of an advantage to work with. But right now, it's basically a stalemate across the map. If you look at, again, the reason why this draft is, we say it's so balanced, not just because of the comfort, but because of the way that the timing plays out for these compositions. They're not going to be crazy action-packed early games like we've seen previously. They're going to mostly fight around, if they force something in the mid, before the turtle comes up, or it'll be around the turtle fight.
I actually completely agree. I feel like these are both like just so balanced. There's just a little bit of like deviation, like who spikes faster. Sometimes they can spike a little bit faster. Some heroes, especially like you're talking about the Harith and the Moskov, right? Sorry, it's Harith and the Granger on top side. It's actually really good for both of them. Sometimes if you can get a really good catch, the Harith can just burst down the Grangers, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, absolutely. It feels like both of these gold laners are actually very heavily affected by the patch, but very happy to play it. Ooh, lots of understrikes being locked in by Onic. This might be actually a pretty good fight for them. See if that's gonna happen. Luffy, he'll get a little bit of Lantern Flare treatment there and gonna get bursted out before even casting anything. Even has the green on his ultimate right now, and that's a second turtle going over to Aurora Gaming here from the Philippines.
It's another pickup. Again, objective plus a kill that they can work with. You know, these being spread out here. Edward? He's gonna get away. Oh
man. Oh, look at that, Kiboy, with the insurance policy right at the back. It's gonna help you catch up if you're Kyrie.
I was gonna say that's essentially what you need to do if you're Onic, you know. And great catch there for Keyboy to be there on time. Great communication from Onic to make that play happen. And you know, technically throughout the series that we've seen here, Rockhart for Aurora Gaming Philippines, it's usually Edward getting, you know, having trouble in the early game where he's focused on, he might get some early deaths, but he always makes up for it. Like, that's one of the things about why he's called Mr. Consistent and all his other acronyms that he has for his names for him, because he has that potential to be able to do this. Is Loopy gonna have some trouble here? He is an Esmeralda, he's gonna get dragged.
Oh man, look at that. Loopy, of course, has more sustainability now. It's like a 1v2. Oh, off-camera kill there for Edward, by the way. They're taking a lot of pressure on the man and taking out Light with them as well. Of course, Loopy is going to be the sacrificial lamb for that, but it feels like it's very worth, especially for Onic.
Yeah, see, Onic is starting to at least find these little wins. These little wins across the map, they're starting to go ahead and shift the momentum, which they need to do. Again, when you lose in the jungle, you lose your jungler early on, I should say. You kind of have to go ahead and cover the other lanes, the other grounds here. They might actually potentially, if they can take the third turtle once it's up, that's the best thing for Onic, because right now Aurora Gaming is, especially with getting the first tier 1 turret down, maintaining a bit of a lead. Now, this lineup, like I said, for Onic is essentially still capable of getting that numbers advantage just by playing around Keyboy. And so, hovering around this mid lane, they want to go ahead and clear it. Light's going to go ahead and go for it. Oh, okay, he actually disengages. Thought he was going to drop the Glorious Pathway down, but this fight for the third turtle, half health.
They're actually holding on to ultimates very, very well, especially here for Aurora. They're having a lot of ultimates ready for the fight. They get the turtle and they kill, very stocked. Aurora Gaming PH, that's 1.8k gold lead for them, and they're not done yet. Nice, so I think they want to keep on going for more. They don't forget they still have that Glorious Pathway, besides to just play a bit more carefully after that.
It's one of the things you can do. Again, it's positioning, right? Light was in the perfect position. He was right there in that bush. Didn't even really need to do too much. It's just the presence of that Hylos again and having that revitalize you. The difficult part for Onic and their lineup is actually dealing with that. I mean, at some point, Keyboy on the Cho, whether he's able to get a pick off or not, if he gets stunned and stopped in his tracks, you know, he can get low pretty quickly, or he has to burn the flicker. Loopy as well, man. Loopy 0-3. Your Esmeralda usually is the one that's kind of, they would say, you know, Esmeralda's kind of unkillable. She's tough to deal with. But when you have this kind of crowd control offered with this lineup from Aurora Gaming, and then that follow through with the amount of damage early game that a Lancelot provides you to an extent too, in the way they Keyboy.
It's a free man knockup on the G Kundo, actually right close by is Sans, gonna get lots of kills and some decent DPS despite obviously the Harris being there. They're gonna push back and we're gonna join the fight just a little bit. Loopy's actually quite low. I don't think Onic wants to go for this one, and they will not. So pretty good pickoffs happening here for Onic, but again, being traded almost instantly by Aurora that time.
It's always the difficult part about being a Cho player. You know, all the Cho players out there know what it's like. You got to go in Jikundo or set up your kick, and essentially you're kind of sacrificing yourself away, right? You want to go in and get that set up for your team, but you know that it's going to be very difficult to get away, especially if you use the flicker to initiate. But nonetheless, what Onic has been able to do here, Rockhart, is stay within grounds. Like, it's not anything too crazy of a lead that Aurora Gaming has over Onic, which puts them in a position that they can actually contest this Lord if they want to. Skylar is going to go ahead and get that turret down, picks up a Sky Piercer as well. So the scaling here on both sides for the gold laners are going to start to show. Sky Piercer 2 for Yue. There's the kick.
Okay, there you go. That's what you want to get started here. Light will use the Glorious Pathway to dig out. Edward misses on the Landshaker, and actually that might force them to go back. Skylar, look at this guy. He's just going bananas. Throwing bullets left, right, and center, taking down Edward in the process, and now they're pushing Aurora Gaming back. They seem to be the ones who are in control of this Lord Pit.
Yeah, they're going to go with that. And meanwhile, exactly when he got the Sky Piercer, he gets a kill. So they have positioning here, but I think Aurora Gaming wants to go for this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look at Demon Kite, though. 4 throws just to buy a little bit more time, but not going to be enough for him to go for the steal. Kyrie this time has massive control on that turtle, or sorry, that Lord. And they're going to be able to get that one. Going to be great for taking down those turrets on mid and bottom. Get more golds into their pocket.
That is the quickest I feel like I've seen a Lancelot get zoned in on and taken out. I mean, it was more so of an attempt to like just go for it for Demon Kite to see if he could potentially get in the position to try to retribution steal that away. But Onic played that really, really well. They knew that was going to happen, and they timed it greatly. So now with this, Lord's pushing up top. Onic will go ahead and continue to open up the map. They want to get this mid turret down. It's just a couple hits away, and Aurora Gaming are going to have to just give this one up as they prepare for the tier 2s. Keyboy giving the information that Demon Kite was getting his orange. Now putting the pressure for the purple. They'll take that away. Now let's see. Aurora Gaming with their backs against the wall in this defense for now. They still got the holy shields and everything else. Still going to be fine, but this is where we have to start to see that time that they built up. And now that this favors for Onic, can Aurora Gaming get a team fight that they're looking for? So far, you see what's happening here, Rockhard. If Light is the one that gets kicked, it kind of messes things up a little bit. You know, you got to give props to Keyboy for being able to get that target acquisition down.
Yeah.
All they're going to get off this is some of those shield defenses being popped. The top one goes down. They still maintain the tier 2 turret in the mid. But again, for Keyboy, that's what is so admirable for the Chos that are able to pull that off. They get the right targets. That kick alone changes that cadence of the fight, and that's why they were able to win that last one that did break out. And this is start to be an increasingly more of a problem, especially for the Granger. You start getting stacks, Aurora Gaming has to take that into consideration, you know, and just so the team fights that have been breaking out, looking at the items too. Even though Lutby had a difficult time in the early game, you know, 3 early deaths, he's essentially tanky enough in a way, especially now that he's got the Oracles and the Enchanted Talisman and he's got the Ice Shield, that he can actually take some of the damage. Yeah, he's actually a lot tankier just off those items. And so that's something they have to watch out for. Aurora Gaming, though, they'll be able to clear this out. Light dropping down the glorious pathway once again defensively. But you're seeing what's happening here, Rockhart. They're just kind of cut off from the rest of the map.
That's true. I think that's a big point, right? Like, Light, despite being the tankiest member of Aurora Gaming, actually is not as tanky on his own as Lutby, right?
Benar kencing aja. Chatnya aja. Oke, kita lanjut lagi.
Light needs that glorious pathway to regen the HP. You need that revitalize. So that's all like slowly just regenerating your health. You're not really like built like a rock or anything, right? So if you can catch that, if you can stop the regen before it happens, the Hylos are surprisingly squishy.
Aren't you a Hylos main? Or was.
Yes, I'm speaking from
I was
experience.
going to say,
brother.
speaking.
That's exactly what I mean.
Top Philippines, high-lows at one point, right? I mean, I know you have a ton of experience with the high-lows, and that's exactly what we're seeing kind of happen here to Aurora Gaming. They are going to go ahead and get in position for this Lord, though. Again, broken walls, something always to consider in the team fights around here. But look at the poke. The poke of the Granger is what that advantage is in comparison to the Harith as well. You can go ahead and fire off some of these shots of the Destinata, keep them at bay. Again, that space for Skylar is so important here too. So they'll go ahead and reset the Lord. A Glorious Pathway drop down.
Oh, there you go. That's more proactive right now this time for Aurora Gaming, and now they're chasing Lutfi, which will be protected very well by Sans. That real-world manipulation. They're just knowing they can play around that, but look at Edward. He's trying to go for it. Great placement on Landshaker, but he will get taken out. Just not enough DPS right now for Aurora Gaming to make any difference in the team fights, except for Doming Kite. He is definitely the guy who is making it work, at least making sure that Aurora PH can kind of do something in a team fight, but it is still just a massive amount of lead, a massive amount of control for Onic Indonesia.
They're still going to go for this rock card. They're trying to get an opening here. Oh, they tried.
Nice
Doming Kite was swinging around. The Kite brothers were trying to make something happen. Because again, that last team fight, man, this is some of the most, again, this is some of the highest level of MLB, right? You saw how many battle spells were used, the flickers to avoid Edward, for example, when he went in with the Landshaker to get that stun off. If he would have gotten the stun off with the Landshaker, then it would have been a completely different team fight. But because of, again, great usage, great timing from Onic to avoid that, then they reinitiated after taking out Light, gives them that advantage. So a whole lot of resources used up. The Lord's going to charge into this top base turret. We'll see. It is going to be cleared out rather quickly, though, because once again, these lineups are so balanced across the board for this game one. And you're seeing that. So Onic, they'll have to go ahead and decide, can we go ahead and get a base turret down? They still have these waves to deal with, but at best, they might get one base turret. RWM drop down.
Well, that's if they can actually win this team fight, but still like they're going to be able to take out Sans. Aurora Gaming definitely going to do great with that -1, but look at Lutfi. He's diving in on the middle of that pack and doing some decent damage, pushing back Aurora Gaming. I mean, they look like they had some momentum, but again, a great pushback from that Esmeralda.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive, though. Aurora Gaming holding on with that push. It doesn't really matter that they're down 4,000 gold. Like, that's what I'm saying with these lineups. It's more so of a chess game when it comes to these team fights and that execution factor. You know, even with that lead that Onic has, it's not so easy for them to actually strong arm Aurora Gaming Philippines with this. Edward does he just recently picked up a Chastised Pauldron. That item actually does really well against certain marksmen. You can see this too, even defensively. Light, he's dealt with this all game, man. But finally, you know, he's got 3 core defensive items locked in, the Dom, Ice, Anti-Cuirass, the Radiant Armor here too, to kind of help with the amount of damage that's coming out from Sans. You saw it from the last fight. He's already got his Divine Glaive too. So I'm assuming he's still going to be going even more magic damage here too on this Eve. I don't know if he wants to even get any defensiveness for Sans just yet, because he hasn't really dealt with that pressure. Like, he's just kind of relying on the flicker and he's pumping out the damage. Meanwhile, Skylar is as well. Fighting into the real world manipulation is the best thing that Onic has right now for them, and it's allowing that space to be there. So it's a chess match, you know, and 20 seconds for this Lord to come up. Aurora Gaming, they'll most likely contest it. They will not let any of this just go by. This is a little bit more difficult, once again, for Onic. The tankier Light gets, and Edward, it doesn't have to all just fall onto Light's hands now. Like, Edward can be the one to go ahead and kind of start these fights up like we saw him previously. And you never know, if he goes and gets in that stun and that lands this time, that might change that course of the fight. Immortality being picked up here by Keyboy too. Once again, giving a little bit of that extra time that he might need to escape after setting up the Way of the Dragon, the kick. So this positioning is super important here. Neither team's probably going to fully commit to this unless they catch someone out. A beacon used, though, from UA. So that not being available actually is very helpful for Onic, but the Lord evolves now at the 18-minute mark.
Yeah,
so a little
few seconds
difficult,
that
a little difficult to take.
So you're absolutely right. Again, it's all about whether or not Aurora can actually tank for real world. And as time is progressing, they actually might be able to. But here comes that big fight we're talking about. They're diving straight into the backline, and that's going to be the juggler for Aurora getting removed already. And now it's a 4v5, and they are going to have to run, make a run for the hills if they want to survive. And they're going to be able to take out Luffy. But looks like all that's going to be left on the field is going to be Dominkai. It's 1v3. It's only a Harif. What are you going to do? You got a big wave on the middle, and I think that's exactly what Onic is just going to capitalize. No need to go for the Lord this time around. 24 seconds on the death timers at earliest. That feels like game.
Onic winning that fight around the real world manipulation. Exactly what I was.
Permainan yang solid ya, meskipun Aurora sempat membuat jalannya pertandingan seimbang, tapi tetap ujung-ujungnya Onic time lagi. Udah berapa menit ini? Oke, ini udahan apa gimana ya? Kita mau lihat pertandingan lain ya. Oke, kita lihat ini dulu deh. Opening ceremony. Nggak penting aja ya udah. Oke, kayaknya segitu dulu kali. Atau satu lagi. Kita coba deh satu lagi deh, satu game lagi deh. Tadi game keempatnya BOOTSGATE lawan Virtus Pro menarik kayaknya. Besok beneran kita akan persiapan. Lempar lagi. Yaudah kita end dulu ya. Kita end dulu aja. Sebagai closing kayaknya buat YouTube ya. Dari dua pertandingan singkat tadi, sebenarnya Onic jelas jauh lebih solid ya secara permainan. BOOTSGATE di pertandingan Virtus Pro emang gokil, cuma kelihatan masih belum meyakinkan ya. Ketolong Virtus Pro yang kayaknya entah kenapa off banget. Dan juga mentalnya sih, mentalnya beneran gila banget ya. Di pertandingan lawan Virtus Pro tuh BOOTSGATE beneran berkali-kali hampir kalah, tapi berkali-kali pula bisa bangkit ya. Mentalnya jujur ngeri banget ya, kayak mereka tuh emang lapar banget ya, pengen ngerasain masuk babak Sweet Stage M7. Tapi jelas ya, secara gameplay masih jauh unggul Onic ya. Jadi ya harusnya sih kalau prediksi ya kita balik lagi ya, coba prediksi ya, kita lagi mode gurita Paul ya. Harusnya sih pertandingan Onic lawan BOOTSGATE dengan easy bakal diambil oleh Onic ya, dengan skor telak ya, mungkin nggak tahu ya ada 5 match atau berapa ya, tapi kalau 5 match mungkin bisa 3-1 lah untuk Onic ya. Dan Kyrie dan Keyboy kayaknya menarik banget ya di pertandingan besok nih, menarik untuk dilihat gitu ya kiprahnya gitu. Sementara di kubu BOOTSGATE sendiri ada satu pemain yang cukup menarik perhatian juga, Kazue ya, dan RX kalau nggak salah tadi ya. Jadi besok mari kita lihat ya seperti apa permainan dari kedua tim dan apakah King Onic bisa melaju ke babak selanjutnya ya. Kita bakal mulai live stream jam 2. Oke, segitu dulu ini live stream kedua gua, sampai ketemu di live stream berikutnya. Dah.